Good morning, my friends. Your old pal Jordan the Lion and your old pal Escaping the Mouse Breck. Today Breck has driven me to Dallas because there was something here in Baylor University's medical center that I thought was so cool I had to vlog it today, so we're gonna see if we can't find it. Supposedly they have over 100 famous hands on display, so let's see. Days with Jordan the Lion and Escaping the Mouse begins now. Nice little nativity scene out here out front, right next to the Baylor University sign. And if you're looking for it, here it is, the George W. Truett Memorial Hospital building. And as soon as you walk in on the first floor lobby, there you go. So here you can say it's all on loan from Adrian E. Flatt, MD. This is his whole collection. Starting with how it's done, making the cast of the hand and then bronzing it. Here he's made some abnormalities. Now here in the very first case we have Margaret Thatcher and Corazon Aquino, President of the Republic of the Philippines. Got Margaret Thatcher's hands. Now this whole shelf is all astronauts. Let's take a look. First one I see is Alan Shepard. Pretty historic hands. Then you have Gus Grissom. John Glenn. And there are so many here, I'm not going to show you every single one, I'm just going to show you my favorites. You have Neil Armstrong's hands here. And then right next to him, Michael Collins. Buzz Aldrin. And then Eugene Cernan, he was the last man to walk on the moon. Those are his hands. There's a photo of him up there. And here we have Wernher von Braun, the rocket designer. Those are his hands. I actually saw his office when I went to the Huntsville Space Center. And then Story Musgrave's hands right here. Then these are the hands of the first woman private space explorer. Her name is Anush Ansari. Now this case is all famous presidents. And pretty much in order, you got Harry Truman and Dwight D. Eisenhower together. And these are Dwight D. Eisenhower's hands. Right here you have Lyndon B. Johnson. And then Gerald Ford. And then right next to him, Jimmy Carter's hands. And then Ronald Reagan's hands. And then George H.W. Bush. And it stops at George W. Bush. No Bill Clinton for some reason. And then over here on the far right, those two hands belong to General Chuck Yeager, the man who broke the sound barrier. So right here you have some famous football hands. To the far left is coaching legend Tom Landry. You can see his hands. And then Bart Starr, quarterback of that famous Green Bay Packers team Vince Lombardi coached. And then you have Roger Staubach, quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. And Troy Aikman, also quarterback of the 90s Dallas Cowboy teams. And then there's Louis Armstrong's hands. And pianist Van Cliburn, his hands. And then here in the center are classical maestro of the guitar, Andre Segovia. Now those are Dr. Adrian Fielder's hands himself. Hands of a surgeon. This is his collection. Here we have some historic hands, but the one on the left is fallen over, so I don't know who that belongs to. But the first one that we can see over here is Walt Whitman, a famous poet. Leaves of Grass. And then beside that, this one is Winston Churchill's hand. You can see the ring on there. And then the fists over here belong to Abraham Lincoln. That's very interesting. And I never pronounce this guy's name right, but it's Paderewski. We saw a lot of his memorabilia in Paso Robles. I went to that historic museum there and they had his piano and various things because he used to live there. Kind of cool to see his hands. Famous concert pianist. Now you guys are gonna love these. Starts out with Charles Schulz, creator of Peanuts, Snoopy, Charlie Brown, and the gang. Right there. And then you guys all know him, Walt Disney. Walt's hands. And then Norman Rockwell from the Saturday Evening Post. And then Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss's hands, how cool is that? And then this is cartoonist George Booth, New York cartoonist. That's his work up there, and here are his hands. Now this one's kind of funny. This one you've got a large man with a small man. You've got Wilt Chamberlain's hands, the great Laker basketball player, right next to jockey Willie Shoemaker. And they have a picture of them together. Now right here we have Ethel Merman on the far left. That's pretty interesting. Wouldn't have guessed seeing her hands. And then Mary Preston, organist for the Dallas Symphony. And Mary Martin, Peter Pan. Hands of Mary Martin right here. These hands belong to aviation pioneer Edna Gardner White. And then here's a picture of Greer Garson, who's buried here in Dallas, and some of her handprints when she was older. There's Paul Newman's hands. I know he made a lot of great movies, but mine is still and always will be Slapshot. That rant he goes on to the woman owner about her son, that's a great one. There's Katharine Hepburn's hands. And then Joanne Woodward, who I believe was married to Paul Newman, right? And then the hands on the right belong to Kathy Rigby, who was a gymnast in the US Olympics. So that's a picture of the man who was probably the best college wrestler and Olympic wrestler, Dan Gable. They have his hands here. Now this case is kind of my favorite. This is the one that I pretty much came here for. Andre the Giant and Fritz von Erich. Look at Andre's hands. Holy cow. They're no joke. Those are, I hate to make the comparison, but those are like gorilla hands. Those are huge. I mean, they're like the size, if he balled up his fist, it would easily be the size of a boxing glove. And then Fritz von Erich, we actually went to his grave in the last vlog. Father of the Von Erichs. And this is important that they have his hands because his finishing move was the claw, where he used to literally like reach his hand out and squeeze his opponents by the temples. So here are tennis greats, Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova. So there's Martina's hands and Chris Everett's. literally Dallas. We got Larry Hagman and Linda Gray. J.R. Ewing. Hands right there. And if you want to see the South Fork Ranch, I've vlogged it. And here Linda Gray's hands. And then these are David Copperfield's hands. I have scientist Jonah Salk and Walter Cronkite's hands. There's Jonah Salk and Walter Cronkite, the man who announced that Kennedy was dead. That's television evangelist Billy Graham.
Pretty interesting, isn't it?
He went ahead and did the hands of S. Beck Weathers, mountain climber, left for dead on Everest. There's his photo. And then look. And then here we have climber of 7 summits, Richard Bass, his hands. And then all of these hands belong to winners of Nobel Peace Prizes. Norman Borlaug, Jack St. Clair Kilby, Joseph E. Murray, and Linus Pauling. And there we've got on the left, Raymond Nasher's hands, patron of the arts, and T. Boone Pickens on the right. And one of the buildings in this hospital is actually named after T. Boone Pickens. I believe it's the Cancer Center. Now let's check out all the athletes. This is going to be great. Starting with Jerry West, Laker legend, and he was the man that they used for the logo of the NBA, sometimes called the logo. Right next to him, the hands of baseball great Jolton Joe DiMaggio, the Yankee Clipper. We also vlogged his grave not too long ago. Those hands are historic. Those hands put a wedding ring on Marilyn Monroe's finger. They held her hand. They played 23 years of baseball. Signed a lot of autographs. Then we have Stan the Man Musial and Mickey Mantle. Both phenomenal baseball players. Then over here we have Arnold Palmer, Mike Singletary, and Meadowlark Lemon from the Harlem Globetrotters. These are Arnold Palmer's hands. Great golfer, not just a great tea and lemonade maker, drink maker. And those are the hands of Raiders great Mike Singletary. And for a short time, he was the coach of the San Francisco 49ers. And those are the hands of Meadowlark Lemon, the magical hands of Harlem Globetrotters. Buried in El Paso. If you watched my vlog a couple days ago, you know exactly who that is. That is Nolan Ryan, the Ryan Express. Those are his hands. 7-time no-hitter hands. Countless All-Star games. World Series. And then in this case, we have Darren Woodson, football player, as well as Chubby Checker, the man who taught us to do the twist. And then down here we have Brett Hull, star of the Dallas Stars right here, son of Bobby Hull, right there in the center. And then Emmitt Smith from the Cowboys, those are his hands, those running back hands. And then right next to him, one of the greatest catchers to ever play the game, Ivan Pudge Rodriguez. He's been on tons of teams. Houston and Texas, I think, both. Rangers and Houston. And then the hands of Pat Summerall. Mary Kay Ash. I'm guessing you can probably figure out what she's known for. Mary Kay Cosmetics. Those are her hands. And then Dell Computers. Michael Dell. And then this display is just showing all the various ways hands are used in everyday life. We've got paperweights and little gifts and little necklace pieces and vases and even ashtrays. All kinds of little things that they've used hand moldings for. All right, Breck, did any of these stand out to you? Any of these kind of amaze you when we came in here? You didn't really know what to expect, did you?
No, not at all. I have one question though about all this.
What's that?
How the heck do you think they got Abraham Lincoln's hand castings?
I don't know, man. Somebody was thinking ahead. Definitely thinking ahead. My favorite has to be Andre the Giant. I wanted to see Joe DiMaggio and Dr. Seuss and Charles Schultz and all those, but Andre the Giant and Fritz von Erich, those were really cool for me to see.
Andres were really amazing just how huge they are compared to the rest of them. You don't really get it, you know, get a scale of it in the camera, but it's just like, it's like twice
like
the
a
size
boxing
of them.
glove.
Yeah.
Thank God I had Breck along. He noticed on the back of the one that fell over, I was going, I wish I could figure out what it is. It says Chopin right there on the back, so he was wondering how they got Abraham Lincoln's. I have a better question. How'd they get Chopin's? Well, if you enjoyed this, give yourself a hand. All right, my friends, we're gonna call it a day. I hope you guys all enjoyed this. This was not your average roadside attraction. You actually have to go into a medical center to see it, but it was totally worth it. Thank you, Thomas Tomlinson, for becoming my newest Patreon, and thank you everyone for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you all later. Good. Bye.